Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Monday night edition of the SiouxSports.com talk show, brought to you by Country 104.3 and KISS 100.5. We are joined tonight, as usual, with Tony Bonifero, our sometimes regular friend of the program, Dom DeLuca. And tonight we have a special guest, second-round pick of the Ottawa 67s, Cooper Foster. Cooper, congrats. Take us through your draft night on Friday night, and tell us how you found out. Did someone call you first? Did you see it first online? And tell us how that went.
Yeah, thank you for having me on here. And actually, I was in my room by myself. I was in my room by myself after watching it out on my TV. So my TV was more delayed than theirs. So I actually heard them screaming and yelling out there first before I got to hear my name get called. So
oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool. And you must have been really excited, right?
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah. Now, is Ottawa a team you had talked to a lot? Did you know they were interested in you, or did they catch you by surprise? How did that go?
No, yeah, I talked to them quite a bit before. So there's a few other teams too, but that team was pretty interested in me. So I knew I had a good idea for the draft.
And Ottawa is a good organization right now. They're in a good spot, and it's a good spot for you. So I think you should be very happy with that. I'll turn it over to your old coach here, Dom. He's got a couple questions for you. Go ahead, Dom.
Coop, leading up to all this, and again, congratulations. Again, you know how I feel about you. I sent you a nice text the other day. I thought it was a nice text. You loved it too. I just loved having you as a player. You're a special talent, and I'm just hoping for the best for you. Now that being said, leading up to this, Coop, interviews, that whole process there, was it nerve-wracking at all? Like, did you find at times like just knowing that you're going to be talking to GMs and trying to make that good first impression? Like, how did that all go?
Yeah, at the start, it was a little bit nerve-wracking talking to the first few teams, but after a while, I kind of got the hang of it and kind of got the nerves out, so it wasn't bad after a while, no.
That's good. Was there any of the teams, like anybody intimidating more than other teams? Was there anybody that you felt like, holy geez, like I'm kind of nervous saying maybe the wrong thing? You know what I mean? Like it would be a tough challenge. I think you're a young man, and this is your future's on the line. So they want to know what you're made of and see how you handle these situations. So
no, I felt like I did pretty good. Like throughout all the teams. At the start, maybe I said maybe a few things wrong or something like that, but after a while, I got a hang of it, and with the help of my agent and Hendo too, it helped them.
Oh, that's great, because again, if this is something you continue to do, which obviously you have those aspirations, you're going to have again more interviews, more that whole process there. So you got to do it at some point. So I guess that's important for you. Now, for me, Coop, growing up, you were always a top-notch player, high skill, high IQ, all those things that we had talked about before. I know what you can do. And you're always basically the top player on your team all the way through growing up. Now you're going to another level where, again, it's like starting over. It's kind of a rebirth. You're looking at the bottom, all right, and you're trying to get your way up the ladder, so to speak. And you got to take those steps up the rungs and find your way. How do you think you're going to approach that, and how do you think you're going to feel in terms of, biding your time and waiting to, you know what I mean? Like, because it's not an easy thing to do. So, again, just something I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, so this summer I'm going to try and put a little bit of strength conditioning on, try and get bigger, because obviously the guys in the OHL are a lot bigger, taller, stronger, older guys. So I feel like I just need to do that to be ready.
And again, it is so important. And again, once you are there, the ups and downs. Again, you're away from home, and I know you did this before, moving away for 1 year. But now again, you're moving. You're playing at a totally different level where the caliber is obviously grade A. Just knowing that you may not be a power play guy right away, you may not be a penalty kill guy right away. You ever think about that mindset and how you're going to approach that and just be patient? Just wondering how you feel you'll be in that situation, because it's going to be brand new to you because you've played all those situations.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously it's gonna be really hard to just walk into the NHL or OHL or anything like that. So I feel like I'm gonna have to work for it, and any chance I get for other playing time or anything, I feel like I'm gonna have to be ready for it. Just go hard.
Yeah, take it day by day.
Yeah.
I'll ask you one more thing there, and then we'll let you go. Tony's got some questions. Jim, we've got a couple more afterwards. But one thing, when you played for me too, Cooper, and it was funny because the talk was always speed, high skill, great shot, all these good things, and they were. You have all these attributes that are wonderful. But the one that surprised me, and it made me even more, as much as I loved you as a player, this even brought me even closer to you as a player. It was the intensity you brought every game, and that nasty edge, and just wondering like where did that come from, and was it something you always had, or just to kind of like knowing that maybe after a while you just got pushed around a bit, maybe, or kids were taking runs and finally figured it out that I got to push back. So
yeah, when I was younger, I wasn't too much of a intense player. I didn't go out there and just want to hit someone. I wasn't really into that. But I feel like throughout the years, just being pushed around, being hitting, I feel like it just grew part of everyone's game. You have to be a little on edge when everything. You can't be getting pushed around. So I feel like it's just kind of grown into me.
Yeah, no, because it was definitely something that, again, the first time I saw it, it caught my eye. Like everything else we knew, more or less the type of player you were, had that there, but to watch you play in big games and to never back down, and I think your teammates did feed off that, and I think that's something for you going forward that I can see you doing the same thing where you're not going to back down, and again you're going to fight for your ice, and especially at the next level, you know how the game is, and if you want to get to those dirty areas, you got to fight for every inch you got. So again, I can see that in you. I know you have it, but it's just always a question. I don't think we ever really talked about that. Aside from, again, once in a while here and there, we know that you brought it, but it's nice to see though that you have that that part of the game too. So it's a bonus for you going forward.
Yeah.
Cooper, I got two quick questions for you, then I'll turn it over to Bono. This year being COVID, everything's a little bit different. Did you feel a little bit? The draft's a little more uncertain, right? Like the ratings are a little more uncertain than they usually are. You know, we hear rumors around the Sioux that you're going to go in the first round, second round, and somebody will say, "Oh, Cooper's not going to go to the fourth round." I'm sure you hear the same thing. Were you confident going in, with all the rumors that you would be picked right around where you were picked, or where you were not sure at all?
Yeah, I was pretty confident. Just talking to all the teams with my agent and Hendo too. They kind of let me know in kind of the area I was going into. And I've played all the Toronto kids quite most of my life, so I felt like I knew where I compared to them. So I felt, I knew where I was going.
That's awesome. And then my last question, I'll hand it over to Bono. Cooper, you go to Ottawa. Jack Mateer's there. A guy I'm sure you know fairly well. Is you consider that a good thing to have a friend there, a guy that you can kind of help you out a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Just bring anything, a piece of the Sioux down there with me will always make me more comfortable down there, just being around him. Having him there. I also think he'll guide me on the ways that they have there, because he's been there for the past year now. So I'm sure he knows how it goes on down there, and also him pushing me would be a big help too, just giving me that extra edge to keep going.
That's awesome. Okay, go ahead, Bono.
Well, since you guys took most of my questions, that's all right. But Cooper, congratulations, man. Very well deserved. Obviously had a chance to watch quite a few of your games, and it's nice to see that you get to represent the Sioux at the OHL level again. So congratulations. What throughout the draft process, what was the thing that surprised you the most about the draft process? Was there something that you weren't really expecting, or did it all kind of go as expected?
Honestly, like this first time around, kind of this kind of thing was also like kind of surprising to me how many teams talk to you, how what they talk to you about on the Zoom calls and stuff. So just having all the teams talk on the Zoom calls and stuff was pretty.
Oh, I think you're cutting out. Oh.
Did I cut out?
No, yeah, a little bit, but there you go. I got you again. So yeah. No, that's great. So obviously you went to Ottawa. Did you have a lot of discussion with them before the draft, or were they a team that you were? I know we kind of touched upon this a little bit, but were they a team that you were actually expecting to potentially go to?
I talked to them a little bit more than the other teams, I guess I'd say, but not like an overwhelming amount. So I had a few other places I was gonna go, and I wasn't really sure on draft day where I was gonna end up. But honestly, I'm glad I ended up in Ottawa. It's a great place and great team.
Now, obviously, Coach Henderson put on a few exhibition games for you guys this year, and you guys had a chance to play those inter-squad games against each other. Did you hear anything from coaches that they said that those games kind of helped your draft position, that they were able to see your development a little bit throughout the year?
Yeah, so most teams I talked to throughout this past 2 months told me that Hendo's been one of like the best coaches for putting me out there. So him sending us clips of me, rather I'm like off the ice at the little rink in the reserve that they have. I've been there, and him sending clips of me to every team too. So I feel like that's helped me quite a bit through this process.
That's amazing. Is there anyone that you wanted to give a kind of props to for, or thank publicly for kind of helping you develop as a hockey player and kind of getting you to this spot?
Yeah, obviously, all my family, all my coaches throughout the year. I had Jamie Kreco growing up as the rep coach a few years, and obviously Dom here helped me out quite a bit last year, yeah, and Hendo this year as well pushed me quite a bit and really got me this draft and prepared me for this. Also, my family as well, just pushing me along the way, bringing me to
That's great. Has Ottawa given you any indication as to kind of what they expect from you next year going into camp?
Not really too much yet. I think they're just waiting on acceptance from the government to start running some things. So I'm sure by then they'll reach out to me.
That's great. Well, Cooper, Congratulations, man. Well deserved. And, you got the whole city backing you, and you'll have a lot of support from us going forward. So, great job, and congratulations, man. Well deserved.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Thanks, Cooper. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, amazing job, buddy. Again, happy to hear you talking about mom and dad there. Like, I know they have made lots of sacrifices, and it's great. I know I texted your dad. It's always nice to know that, like how much you appreciate them and what they do for you, and it's always a great thing. So again, for me, it's sky's the limit for you. I think in terms of how you play the game, how you approach the game. If you continue to work hard, you got a wonderful future ahead of you. And like I said, the coach, I'm just always happy that we could do something maybe to help you along the way, and hopefully we did. And it was a pleasure having you too as a player. So again, Coop, we'll talk soon, and keep up the good work. And again, work hard.
Yeah, thanks, Dom. It was a pleasure having you as a coach. It was a really fun year and everything like that.
Oh, it was awesome. Awesome time.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Thanks, Coop.
All right, Cooper. Talk to you soon, bud.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're welcome, bud.
Well, guys, before we get Austin on here, just your thoughts.
Oh, he's a nice kid. He's happy. He says all the right things. He's obviously. I think that draft process has got to be a great experience, right? Being interviewed like that for a young guy, pressure situations. I think that not even just in your hockey life, but in your real life going forward. I think that bodes really well for you. And another reason why sports are so great, right, guys?
Yeah, you got like I said, that's what I wanted to ask, because at some point you have to face, whether it's your employer or whatever, when you're doing this stuff, it's a tough thing. You got to sell yourself. There's certain things they want to hear. So yeah, it's pretty. It can be nerve-wracking, for sure.
And it's good. It's a player with big potential, right, Bono? I think that's the biggest thing there with Cooper is, like Dom said, the sky's the limit. Don't you agree with that, Bono?
Oh, 100%. And you know what? He became a second-round OHL draft pick, and he had Dom as a coach. So, he deserves all the credit in the world.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. Actually, everybody that comes on tonight has Dom as a coach. So
jeez.
And they still made it. It's amazing.
And they still made it. That is the biggest fucking surprise.
So, folks,
we would
go just waiting for Austin Fellinger, the Hounds 11th round pick. It should be on soon. Then after Austin, we have Colin Miller, who just won a gold medal at the World Championships. Welcome, Austin. How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me.
Congratulations to you, first of all, folks. This is Austin Fellinger, 11th round pick of the Sault Greyhounds. Big congratulations to you and your family. talk us. We just had Cooper Foster on. The first question I asked him, I'll ask you. Talk to us about the experience of getting drafted. Like, were you at home waiting? Were you hitting refresh on your computer? Were you with your family? Talk about that experience with us.
So actually, I was at home. I had my dad and mom, my nanny and papa, and my little brother. I was actually downstairs and they were upstairs. I actually heard them started screaming before I got to see my name up there. My computer was a little slower than the TV upstairs. They all came down, rushing, and yeah.
That's awesome. Now, were the Hounds a team that you had talked to a lot? Were you surprised when they picked you, or?
It was actually like last minute. I talked to them a week before the draft, so you never know.
Obviously, it's a thrilling experience to get drafted. That must have been really happy, right? You must have been really happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll turn it over. I'll let Dom ask you a few questions. Your old coach, Dom. Go ahead, Dom.
Felly,
Hey.
how are you, buddy?
Good, you?
Good, buddy. Again, like we talked the other night. We texted, and again, I couldn't be more happy for you. For Bono and Jim that don't know Austin, how many years have you been in the Sault now, Austin?
This is my third year.
Third year here from Wawa originally. Again, whole family moved. Again, huge sacrifice they made for him and his brothers to come and play here. So it's a great story, knowing that you did make this trek and this is something that you wanted to do. Before I even ask the question, did you take that jersey from me in the background? I'm missing a 13
Yeah, I did.
You did head on. Always though, he knows the way I feel about the number 13. That's my number too. So love it. Felly, what I wanted to say to you is, again, for lots of people that don't know you and a little bit about yourself, the type of player that you are and what you see yourself as.
I'm a huge defensive player. I'm able to use my stick really well. I'm less on the physical side, but when the hit needs to be hit, I use my body. I'm able to see the puck, the ice really well, make a tape-to-tape pass.
Yeah, no, you and again, having that opportunity to coach you, you're kind of bang on with everything you said. For me, and I think you'll back me up. If you do have what you possess, a wonderful stick, always in the right spots, doing great things with it. And people that don't know how you talk about you're not so physical, but it's about angles and it's about just putting yourself in good spots. For me, you're probably one of the nicest skaters, especially backwards. You could, even when you got yourself in trouble, you were always able to get yourself out of trouble very quickly and able to get back and defend and do a good job there. And again, great first pass, very patient, and those are all the things that made me ecstatic to have you around for years. And I know those years in Bantam, we relied on you heavily. Like you know the amount of minutes you played, every situation, and I think that'll help you along the way. But you do have all the makings of, and I'm going to tell you, Felly, have you ever heard the term vanilla?
No.
Okay, so some guys they'll say, well, this guy's kind of vanilla, which means plain. And you know what? When you hear that, as a coach, when I hear that, it's a good thing. It just tells you how many good, especially as a defenseman, like there's so many qualities that you have, and it's all the things. You don't have to be that guy joining the rush all the time, scoring all the goals. It's just the little things that you bring to the game. It's the nuances that probably so many people don't see. So again, just so proud of you that you had this opportunity, took advantage of it, and again, moving here in your family and having now this opportunity to further your career, it's really exciting. I asked Coop, Felly, how did everything go with your interview process? Were there nerves? Was it? Did you have a lot of teams you talked to, or how did that all go?
I only had a couple actually. Definitely not as much as Cooper, but I am a nervous type of guy. I don't like talking very much. I'm a quiet guy.
Whoa.
Other than the team.
Yeah, don't even go there.
Yeah.
But it is a whole new, again, a learning experience, I guess. And like we were talking, it's just like when you're going to have a job or you're interviewing for anything like that as you're growing older. It's obviously there's going to be nerves, and you're going to feel that there's some pressure there, and you always want to say the right things and let them know that you're willing to do the things going forward to get better. Now, for me, things that you think you need to work on still, Felly, things that you want to improve upon before you make those next steps.
Definitely rushing up in the play more. Got to start doing that. Working on my slap shot. I'm used to taking wrist shots my whole life, so I got to work on that. And body more, like I said.
And you know what? I think you're knowing mom and dad so well. Like, Dad's a big man, and I still think you got some potential to really start to grow even more. You're already a tall boy. But like I said, with Dad being as tall as he is, there is that opportunity for you to continue to grow and get bigger and stronger as well. So, and that'll just help elevate your game as a D-man for sure.
Yeah.
Bono, you got some questions there too, bud?
Yeah, I actually do know Austin because he's from my hometown of Wawa, Ontario, and he was the tight end extraordinaire for the Bantam, whatever team we were, and winning the championship in Sioux Minor football. So I know Austin pretty well. So congratulations, bud. Really, really proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So a couple questions that I had was, watching you play quite a bit. I watched all the exhibition games that you guys played over this last, the 7 or 8 games that you guys played over the past season. And one thing that really stood out about you, kind of what Dom was saying, was you didn't really notice you too much on the ice. But then again, you also didn't notice what the offensive players were doing on the ice. So that goes to show that a defenseman's doing his job. What do you think is the strength of your game? I know you said your breakout pass is kind of your strong point, but have the Greyhounds told you anything about what they need you or what they would like you to work on over the summer?
No word yet. They said they'd give me a shout next week, but definitely the key is patience with the puck. Yeah.
I agree. So, kind of growing up in Wawa, kind of taking a different route, sort of say, to the OHL. Can you kind of talk us through your progress from when you started playing hockey as a kid to how you ended up in Sault Ste. Marie?
So I started in Wawa when I was 3. Yeah, it was more just skating, less of hockey. And then in novice, my dad was actually the coach. It was a great year. I played up that year too with my brother and Adam. And then I played up with him again that year in Pee Wee. And then my last year in Wawa, I had I'm trying to think. Such a long time ago.
Oh, it's all good. I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but when you ended up coming to the Sioux, was hockey part of the decision?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the major parts. I wanted to get my game up there, have some teammates I can rely on too.
Absolutely. Do you feel like, so obviously I'm assuming that you guys are happy that you made the move, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Kind of talk us through this last year. I know it was your draft year, and kind of not being able to get the exposure that you wanted. That must have been a little bit frustrating for you, even though it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it was definitely not a normal year than what we expect, but you got to cope with it and work with what you have.
Did you give any thought to moving down south at the beginning of the year when they announced that there would be no hockey up here?
I'd do anything to step on the ice. If I had to move, I'd definitely go down there and play.
Yeah. Oh, good for you, man. So listen, congratulations. You're a great kid. And I knew you a couple of years ago. You just kind of got into football, and you picked it up pretty well, and you ended up being a huge asset for our team. So, on a personal note, thank you for that. But it's really nice to see where you've come, and you know what, we were talking about this before. A late round draft pick. The Greyhounds have a history of late round draft picks playing for them in recent history. So, you know what? I think the door's open for you, and if you just kind of put the work in and kind of see where the chips lay. So, congratulations, man, and it's extremely well deserved. So, good job.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, congrats, Austin. I'll go first. Congrats, like you know, the draft is like getting your foot inside the door, and now you got to kick the door down. So, and I think you can do that, from what I hear. So, good luck to you, and I'll let Dom have the last word here.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm happy to say that I had you for 2 years. Had the opportunity, and it was and we've talked about it before, but it was a total pleasure having you. What you brought to the team. It's not even just as a player on the ice, but you're such a wonderful kid to us, and you know the way I feel about you. Great sense of humor, always joking around, keeping the boys loose. You're always and so reliable on the ice. There wasn't many situations like you didn't play in, and I'm hoping again that experience, even at those levels, helps you along the way, because it's again, you know, it doesn't get easier, but again, any little thing over the years that can help you along the way, it's never a bad thing. Again, give mom and dad my best. They're amazing people too, and like I said, bringing your family here and having the opportunity, all three of your brothers, to play tells you what type of people they are, and they've raised some great kids. So all the best, buddy, and we'll be talking soon. You still at Canadian Tire?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna come in and when we're opened up, you can show me the hammer and nail section there, or whatever we do that. So
Well, do. I look forward to that.
Take care, bud.
Austin.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care, bud.
You guys are calling the poor guy boring. He just got drafted. But I know what you mean. You know, I think I probably told you the story before. We talk about boring players. I was young, as you know. I'm the same age as Rob Zettler, and we played together. And I always thought I never thought he was good. Like, when you're young, you don't know that a defensive defenseman is good, right? And I remember. I think we were first year Pee Wee, and he was the captain. He was named captain, and I remember like saying, "What the heck is this guy captain?" You know, and that's a funny skater too, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What is this guy the captain of the team for? He's not even good." And my dad's like, "You're crazy. He's like the best guy in your team." But no one knew that, because he's a defensive defenseman. And, you know, he ends up going on to play 569 games in the NHL. And so boring really is a compliment to a D-man.
Well,
it really is.
It truly is. And that's how, like, I wanted him to know that. It's true. People will say, well, what do you think he's like? And I said, yeah, the term vanilla does come to mind. But for me, and I said it to Austin and you guys too, that just tells me, as a coach, especially with a defenseman, to have somebody that does so many little things the right way. And he does. He's a sound defender. He really does pay attention to detail. And again, not flashy at all. That's the other term you might hear. He's not flashy, but he's so dependable. And that's, check the NHL teams. You check the Montreal defensemen right now, your Sherratts, your Edmondsons. You got guys like this. Like, these guys are just big, strong, dependable players that make great passes and again, good angles on pucks and distributing. And again, just doing a great job in front of the net. All those little things. So, and Austin's very smart too, and like I said, he's going to be one of those kids that he continues to grow too. He can be a real force down the road. Hopefully everything works out for him and Coop. Lucky enough to have those two guys the last couple of years there, so it was good.
Yeah. So I mean, as we wait for Colin Miller to join us, he just won a gold medal. He'll have an interesting story for us, because it wasn't a regular gold medal he won. I'll bring up an OHL hot topic right now, Dom. The first female ever drafted in the OHL, Taya Curry, the goalie, drafted in the 14th round by the Sarnia Sting. I mean, I think it's awesome, but you hear you got a lot of hot takes where people are, it's a sideshow, it's a publicity stunt, they wasted a pick. From what I hear and what I see, she deserves to be picked. Will she ever play in the OHL? I'm going to guess that she's probably going to want to save her eligibility to play college hockey as a female. It's tough for a 14th round pick of any player to make it. But what do you think of this, Dom?
You know, it's funny. It's because she is the first female and having to make that decision. So I guess she would lose her eligibility to go to a.
I assume it'd be the same rules. I saw her talking on TV, and she said some decisions. So I assume that if she played an exhibition game, I believe
It's
that's
just
how you
something I
get your
never even
eligibility.
thought of. As soon as you said that, I'm going, I wonder if the rules, and they should be, I would assume they probably would be the same. We're opening up a whole new, again, it's history in the making, her getting there. And we have a friend, Jim, a mutual friend of ours, one of our good friends. He's had the opportunity to see her play down in Southern Ontario, in that area. And he said the same thing. She's a quality goaltender. And again, that's fantastic for a young girl like that to be able to make her mark in and amongst the boys, especially at this age, getting older. When the game gets faster, shots are the velocity on shots, the quicker, the stronger she has to be. So that's a credit to how good she must really be. So great to hear for her, and all the best in her future.
Our friend Mark told us that when she played for Elgin Middlesex, and they won the Alliance, which is a pretty good good league. They won the Alliance in Bantam, which is the last year that anyone played. Her major Bantam year, they won the Alliance championship, and in the championship playoff game, she was the goalie. So it's not like she's there for a free ride. She was at least a rotating goalie on the best team in the Alliance, and Alliance is probably the second best.
It's a pretty strong league. Like with it's that whole London area too, so it's a strong league as well. Yeah, it can year to year it can change, but there's some really good teams in that league for sure. The Alliance it's a strong association. So
I think it's good for her. I think one thing that might be a problem for her is her height. She's 5'7". That is a small for an OHL goalie. I'm sure she makes up for it in other ways. Hopefully, she gets a fair chance. If she goes to camp, she probably won't. She probably won't stay in camp very long. I don't know that, though. I'm just guessing she's going to want to keep her eligibility, just because maybe she was a higher pick. She might want to take a shot at making the team, and I'm really just guessing. So, Bono, we talking a little bit about Taya Curry as we wait for Colin. What's your take on this?
Yeah, congratulations. I think good for her. Obviously, it's groundbreaking. Sarnia's GM did come out before the draft and publicly stated that if she was still there, that Sarnia would take her. So I think his kind of hands were tied, and you know what, he made the pick, and good for him. I don't think she's gonna play in the OHL. No 5'7" goalie has made the OHL. I don't think in the last 20 years. I know if you look at the stats, they're actually going for taller goaltenders now. And, if you're not 6 feet tall, a lot of times you're not even really looked at. And I think she's in a tough spot because, what does she do, right? If she has the chance to make history and be the first female goalie to play in an OHL exhibition game, but then she could lose her 4-year scholarship to the States, right? Which no doubt she's going to have plenty of offers for that. So she's in a pretty tough spot. I know everyone's celebrating it, and good for her for being drafted, but she is going to have some tough decisions to make going forward.
I saw her talking on TV the other day, and she said she's just happy to be an honor to be the first female in this position. She seemed to have a really, really good head on her shoulder, so good for her. You know what? I hope if she decides to stay, that she gets a fair shot and gives it a go. If that's a decision she makes, and I think she will. So good for her. As we wait for Colin to come on, if he's coming, I don't know. We'll move on and talk a little bit about the experience of and actually Colin is one of those guys. The experience of not getting drafted. We got a lot of good Sioux kids around. Kind of feel like we wish they would have got drafted, but it's a sad time. But it's not the end of the world. Dom, you're pretty well qualified to talk about this. And there's some guys we could name that we think that should have got a shot late. They were neglected in the draft, but it is what it is. Dom, what do you think of this?
Yeah, it's tough. It's to never hear your name, especially when your friends too, and players that you've played against. If they're hearing their name and you're not, it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. Like it is. We all have egos, and we all think that we can play. And now it's time, especially when guys don't get that call, that nod, to really, really bear down. If this is something you really want to do, then you got to really push in now and kind of make this become a reality, even though it's going to be maybe tougher than ever. And it is. I've had so many guys. Like Colin is one of the best examples you'll ever have. But there's some of his good friends, even with Jared Burton, Zach LaRue. These guys were all even having a hard time making the midget team at some point. Brett Finley, all these are, like I said, I could go on, but those are prime examples of guys that I just had the opportunity to coach that were, again, maybe undersized according to scouts and whatever else, and maybe not ready at that time, but they're all still playing professional hockey at this time. And that's just hats off to their work ethic and knowing what they needed to do to get to that level. Because again, I know myself, I was disappointed to hear about a couple of our players that I thought would have that opportunity to get drafted this past weekend. Their names didn't come up, and again, it is tough. It's I reached out and let them know how I felt, and because it's never an easy thing for a young kid. That's a big blow. When even though they're 15, it's something that they put a lot of time in already. So, but you really got to let them know that it is just it's like Bono had said, it's your foot in the door. But so many guys have done it on invites and just continue to get better. And sometimes those free agents that do come in, they can actually pick their spot and say, you know what, I'm a year older, you're mature. I can go to a place that maybe needs me or get an invite somewhere and maybe turn some heads that way. So again, you're not bound to that one team, so to speak. So there's always a way that things can turn out for these players. And I know going forward that some of these guys that maybe are sad today and after the other day, not just here in the Sioux, everywhere, they'll get that opportunity. And one day, you know, if this is something they really want to do, that they'll figure it out. So
my response to Dom, just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, who are the last two successful NHL players from Sault Ste. Marie? Tyler Kennedy and Colin Miller, right? With actual substantial careers. Tyler Kennedy played Bantam AA hockey. You know, like the kid didn't even play AAA, right? And then Colin Miller, same thing. Didn't Colin Miller play high school hockey one year?
Yeah, he chose that though, but
yeah, he did. He chose it, but he did. He played high school hockey. So both those guys had unconventional paths to get to their end game, right? And you know, you look at guys like the Pilon brothers, right? The Pilon brothers had a very successful OHL career, not drafted. You know, there's lots of guys from the Sioux who weren't drafted who still went on to have successful OHL careers or successful careers playing NCAA. And the other thing, too, is, you know, being drafted, it's a terrific accomplishment. There's no question. But, you know, there's only a certain number of OHL teams. There's a lot more NCAA schools out there, right? So there's still an opportunity. There's more of an opportunity to go play in the States than people think. And I really wish that some people would, you know, even take that into consideration more. You know, if you get a full ride scholarship to a school like Notre Dame, that education itself is worth more than any other hockey career you could have, right? Because you can get any job you want. So, you know, I really think people need to kind of look at that aspect and look at the education factor as well.
It is. It's always a huge. It's a huge. I know living up in the north, we have an OHL team like the Greyhounds. Did we lose Bono?
You must have said something bad. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, but again, a lot of kids have those aspirations because they've been around the Sioux Greyhounds. They've heard about the OHL, so those are always in people's the back of their minds. But again, we know the NCAA route is a route that's awesome. I gotta let Bono know. I think he had the wrong person. Tyler Kennedy did play AAA hockey in Bantam. He was a Bantam AAA player, and I think he might have played a year up. I know him and Kelsey Wilson were playing at that time together. I know Matt D'Agostini didn't play midget AAA to start. He might have been another guy in the same realm as the Burtons and stuff. So, and Matt D'Agostini, again, wonderful player, still playing in Switzerland. He's just another guy to add to that. But just so Bono, just so he might have had the wrong person with Tyler. But again, though, Tyler was an undersized guy. He had to work his way to really build a name for himself.
One example we can use about the OHL draft, and I'll say it because I know this age group, and Colin is supposed to come on. He's a 92. the 92s that got drafted, and I might forget somebody here, but it's because it's a while ago. But Dave Quinnell and Chris Bonomo, they were like second round picks if I remember correctly. They were high picks, and they went on and had good OHL careers, and both played CIS hockey after. But the only 92s, and I could be wrong, but the only 92s that I know played pro hockey were Colin, who's still playing in the NHL, and Brett Finley, who's still playing. So
that's right. Yeah,
those are the only two that year. Then neither one of them got drafted. So
that's right.
Yeah. So and, I also remember another story about not getting drafted. I could talk to you about Owen Hedrick, who did get drafted late, but I remember I was with Dave. We were away, and it was Owen's draft was coming up, and he said to me, he goes, we kind of hope that, if Owen's going to go late, we kind of hope that he doesn't get drafted. And I know Dave listens to our show, so if I'm saying something wrong, Dave, let me know. But he said, we kind of hope Owen doesn't get drafted. If he's going to get drafted late, we kind of rather pick and choose where we want to go, right? Like, if he's going to go 14th round, why get drafted? And he ended up going the Lake State route, and then he ended up going to Erie. So,
he ended up getting the full gamut. He's been everywhere, which is amazing for him. He had that OHL experience and the Lake State experience. But I know I had said that too, Jim. These guys get an extra year to develop, and then, like you said, they can kind of maybe pick their spots, because you get teams that are saying, well, geez, this got another good year. Like, we want to invite them to our camp, and then you can kind of pick. So, again, there are pros and cons to all these things that take place. So, I think our buddy's here, right, Millsy? Oh!
What's up, crew?
There's our guy right there.
Can you hear us?
What's that? I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
Did you turn on your air conditioning?
Yeah, oh yeah, she's blasting now.
I hope so. Millsy, look at my shirt. Look at my shirt today. That's my sturgeon.
Is that who just you caught? Eh? Wow.
Yes. That's a beauty, eh?
Okay, folks, we got Colin Miller with us of the Buffalo Sabres. He just recently played in the World Championships. He played, I believe, 3 games, Colin, and then got hurt and had to come home.
3 or 4 games, and then I broke my hand. So just in the rehab process right now.
That must have been a pretty fun experience, and I know as a fan watching the team come together, and I guess at that time you were a fan too. Watching the team really come together and pull together and pull off some really exciting wins. It was nice to watch. You want to talk to us a little bit about the experience of being there?
Yeah, sure. It was great. Obviously, they just had to trim the fat there. Once I went, they started really rolling. So, no, it was great. It was a great experience for me. Awesome to see the guys come together. I mean, we were playing well the first 3 games. We just weren't scoring. And then, everything seemed to click for them. They snuck into the medal round and, had a couple great games there. One against Russia, and then beating Finland in the end. So it was great. Really happy for them, and it was fun to watch. Yeah.
Now, when you first got the call to go, Colin, was that a tough decision? I know you got your family, your season's over. It was kind of a rough season. You could shut it down if you want, or you got a chance to go represent your country and go someplace a little bit different and travel to Latvia. Was that a tough decision to decide to go?
No, I think obviously any chance you get to represent your country. I mean, that was the first time for me that I ever got this experience, and who knows if it'll ever come around again. So it was a lot of fun. I think a lot of guys that were on that team, obviously it's all teams that are out of the playoffs. So guys are frustrated with their year, and as was I, and as with kind of frustrated with how hockey was going throughout the year. So fun to come together with a group like that and have kind of a more positive way to end the year.
Yeah, and I'll just say one more thing before, and then I'll pass it off to Dom. I mean, when they scored the overtime goal, I actually texted Dom. The guys were so happy, and so it's nice to see, because you kind of wonder, do guys really get into that tournament or not? You kind of saw it building, but the pure joy when they got that overtime goal, I thought it was great to see. It must have been fun for you to watch too, right?
Yeah, it was. I think I saw Connor Brown was doing an interview the other day, and he was just saying it was just fun to play some fun winning hockey again. I mean, it can be tough when you're losing a lot of games, and it gets stressful obviously through a year there in the NHL if you're not doing well. So to have that ending for those guys was great.
Pretty crazy though. Like, there's some pretty some pretty crazy performances, like Connor Brown himself, and Mangiapane comes there. He was unbelievable. Henrique. And then even some of those young kids like the Owen Power, he was playing some big minutes. He's had some they put him into some stressful situations for him, which is great to see what he's made of, and he looked great.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's I think you never, I mean, especially going to this team, not as many big names, so you're not really as familiar with the guys, and then you get to meet them, and I think it's pretty easy on a Canadian group of team. I mean, the guys are pretty similar across Canada. I feel like that you meet in the NHL and stuff like that. So it was good. They came together early, and they obviously just got rolling, and it was great. But that Owen Power kid, I think he's going to be a stud. I mean, really exciting just to I'd never seen him play, obviously, and then to see him firsthand. Buffalo is going to have, a choice, obviously, to make with the first overall pick. So we'll see. But everything I saw, he was fantastic.
Awesome. I got to ask you, like Gerard Gallant. I call him Jerry because he was a Red Wing, so I kind of got the. And he's a Maritimer, and I was a Maritimer for 5 years. But anyways, I've heard nothing but great things about him throughout his career or whatever else, and even now as a coach, it just seems like he's a good coach and a guy that you really want to play for. He's got that way with his players that seems to spark your energy and to really play hard for him. So if you want to talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, he was fun. I was fortunate to have him in Vegas there for 2 years when we had teams, and then but I'm sure he was a big reason. Me and I've never had a guy who's say a bad thing about him. He's honest. He's straight to the point. He doesn't talk much. I think his players sometimes, it's so repetitive, the kind of the season and the things that are being said. But I think if coaches talk too much, it kind of loses the meaning of when they really want to get something across. So he's great about that, and just kind of if something needs to be said, it would be said. If not, then kind of let the older guys or whoever take care of it. And he was great. He was great to me. Gave guys opportunities if they deserved it. If they didn't, you weren't playing. And I think as a player, that's all they can really ask for.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear. That's again. What do you think of the chances of getting back into the game, like fairly soon, maybe even? Have you ever heard any rumors or anything?
Yeah, I think he'll be back in soon. I mean, I don't know if there's so many coaches right now as it always seems to happen at the end of the season. 4 or 5 teams that are looking for a new coach. So I would be surprised if he wasn't back in this next year. I think he's ready now. I think that was I think some firing a little bit more personal than others, and I think in Vegas there, that one was a little frustrating for him. But I'd be surprised if he wasn't back in the game soon.
Yeah, well, and again, going to that championship, and again, going 0-3, a lot of it's on your players as well. But there must have been some great things being done by the coaching staff themselves too. So that's a feather in his cap, and that whole coaching staff too. That's pretty amazing to go from where they were to winning a championship. So again, congrats to those guys too. Besides the team, the coaching staff as well. You know what, Mills? There was somebody from the Sioux there too. I just wanted to throw this at you because one of the therapists, or it was Dom Nicoletta. There was I've seen that in the. I was just wanted to ask because Jim and I know Dominic, like the dad. I think that's his dad, ain't it? Dominic.
I don't know. I don't know that family. I don't know him. But
yeah, he's a West Ender. He grew up in the Sioux. Now he's in Ottawa with the Senators. So he's
a Paisan, ain't Paul?
What's that?
He's a Paisan.
Yeah, exactly. He's
like a Mangiapane.
Fits right in the Sioux, So no, he was there, yeah, and he was the head. Athletic trainer and that, but he worked on me actually quite a bit. And then, we were talking with this going on and that, but it was funny. Yeah. When I saw that kind of on the thing, Sault Ste. Marie, it's small world, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I heard the name too. I go, Nicoletta. And again, right away, living here, you know somebody that knows somebody, whatever. So I go, Nicolette, I know his dad or his uncle, maybe John, whatever it was. But
yeah, he was great.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Again, small world, and you never know when you're going to hook up with people. I was telling Jim, too, one of the assistant coaches, the first time I've ever golfed in my life, I was at a summer tournament in Sault in Brunswick, and Mike Kelly. I was paired with Mike Kelly, and he played at UNB, and he was a great guy. Even back then, when I had an opportunity to meet him, and we had a few pints together there that day, and he was just he was a really good guy too. So yeah, I know he's been doing it forever and ever now. So
yeah, he's been with Turk, I think, for a while. They won those championships together when they were in the queue there with Huberdeau and those teams, St. John's. So they've been together a while, and then obviously and this and that. But yeah, Kels is great. He's pretty full suit with Turk,
Yeah, they are.
And just calls it like it is. So
they take care of themselves.
Next place Turk goes.
Yeah, nice. Bono.
Colin, nice to see you, bud. I watched you grow up with the Greyhounds. I was the visiting penalty box guy, so I got to see you quite a bit from the other side of the penalty box. So nice to see kind of where you've come and where you've made it. One thing I wanted to talk to you about is we talk to a lot of young kids here in Sault Ste. Marie and a lot of young hockey guys here in the Sault, and we kind of talk about how everyone has to take a different path. A lot of people think if they don't get drafted into the OHL, then their careers are pretty much over. Can you kind of talk a little bit about your path and your journey? Because I know you kind of took a little bit of a unique path to get to where you are.
Yeah. I played. So my draft year to the OHL, I ended up playing high school hockey for Mike Cowan. Just was kind of at a stage where I wasn't sure if I wanted to play hockey or what I was in for, and saw my buddies playing high school sports and that, and when you're a kid, that's something that's on your radar as well when you're in high school and whatever. So went there, had a great year there. It was a lot of fun, and then kind of figured that I had to if I wanted to take this seriously about hockey, would just get back in. And then I played a year with the North Stars, a year with the Thunderbirds, and then I was with the Hounds for 3 years. So I would definitely say that opportunity is going to be there for a long time. I think if you're a good enough player, you'll get found. And I would just say that if you love the game and you're passionate about it and you want to keep working at it and really take a serious run at it, then that's what you have to do. But you obviously have to put in the time, and you obviously have to put in the work. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. But I think the opportunity is always there. As you're growing up from 15 to 20. I see a lot of guys that are overagers and in the OHL, end up getting a contract or getting a tryout after, with an NHL club and doing well. So, or with that being said, going to college hockey at a later date. So, there's a lot of hockey teams out there. There's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just about definitely your own kind of passion and your own drive, and then obviously you have to be good enough as well. But I think the most important thing is obviously the passion and the drive that you're going to put into it.
That's great. So we're going to play a little rapid fire game here. If there's a question you don't want to answer, just say pass. But we're going to kind of cover a couple topics here. So first things first. So toughest barn to play in the OHL?
I hated Plymouth. Plymouth was always they had a tough team to play against, so I hated that. But
toughest NHL barn to play in?
I'll say probably San Jose. When I was in Vegas there, it was a tough place to go in and try and win a game.
Did you have a welcome to the NHL moment?
I don't know if I had a moment. I think when I got traded to Boston there and I played my first couple of games meeting and Chara, Bergeron, Marshy, guys like that are kind of, legends and, are going to be, I think, around in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. That was kind of my, these are your teammates now. They're not really, your idols anymore. So that was kind of mine.
Toughest forward to play against?
I think McKinnon or McDavid. Obviously, they're so fast, so shifty. You don't know if they're trying to get off the ice once they get on.
Absolutely. What was I going to ask this? Oh, better pizza, Boston or Sault Ste. Marie?
Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Shout out to the Sioux.
I like it. Best pizza place in Sault Ste. Marie?
I don't know. Mrs. B's maybe, Aurora's.
All right. Good call. What's a big
It's a long way to get to your place too now, though, eh?
What's that?
Put the dishes, make it all the way out to your place, or what?
Yeah, no.
You gotta get it.
What's the biggest misconception that the casual fan has about being an NHL player?
I don't know. It's a grind. Like it's a long season. I think just, maybe not realizing how busy you are. I mean, you have your time to have fun and time with your family, but I mean, you're literally day to day traveling, practicing, doing whatever, so it's just a grind. It's busy.
Mills, if you don't ask me, sorry, Bono, like, give me a little run through with COVID this year and how all that went down, because it just seemed like again, some of the rinks playing, like it was just that whole grind. It just seemed like it must have been tough on the guys some days going into empty rinks and testing and
it was more just how many games we were it was how many games we were playing, and then you couldn't leave any hotel on the road.
Yeah,
you got into the hotel road, and then you're sitting in your hotel, waiting around till practice. Like, you can kind of go hang out with the guys in the hospitality room, but it's just kind of like, it's just repetitive, the same thing. You know what I mean? Which is fine, but it's like one of the best things about being able to play in the NHL is, like, you see other cities, you get to walk around, you get to hang out with the guys, have dinner, stuff like that. So
for sure, yeah.
That you kind of really miss. And then the schedule this year was just insane. You're playing every game. You're playing, 4 games a week most of the time. And then the testing was annoying, but once you got in this team, right, it's just every day kind of get a test in the morning and then go from there.
You can probably do your own after, right? Just like, here, give me that thing, just shove it right up my nose and just let's get the show on the road here.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, your own box.
Yeah.
Go.
And my last question, Colin, what's your favorite hockey memory? Doesn't have to be NHL related. Just what's your favorite memory of playing hockey?
Probably probably the run that we had in Vegas. I don't know. The run we had in Vegas was that was something that I'll never forget. It was, you were right there, and you were, only two hockey teams being played, pretty much all across the world. So everybody's watching, and everything's heightened, and everything's just intense to the max. So that was probably right at the top there.
And one thing I wanted to ask about Vegas too quickly was, a lot of hockey players, a lot of people just in general, right? After the season, they all say we're going to go to Vegas to unwind, and they kind of go to Vegas, right? Was it tough playing in Vegas with all the temptation around and all that? Do other players kind of struggle with that, or is it just kind of it's there and we just know to stay away?
I don't know. I think it wears off. Like, it's when you're living there, you're living 25 minutes outside the strip, and it's actually beautiful. Like, it's 80-degree heat, 85, whatever. It's beautiful out, it's the nice communities and stuff like that. So we're living out there a lot. But I mean, we enjoyed ourselves the first year, and it was a lot of fun. But then it gets, you got to play hockey too, and try and be prepared for the hockey games and all that stuff, right? So you got to have a bit of a balance.
Oh, that's great, Colin. We really appreciate you doing this. And I think the other guys have some more questions, but just watching you and watching where you came from your first year with the Hounds, it's amazing to see. And I know that we use you as a reference talking to younger kids about a different path to get to where you want to go. So you've been an inspiration to a lot of kids here, so we really appreciate appreciate that, and you're really representing the Sioux extremely well. So thank you.
Bono, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Bono, can I ask you? Where are you?
I'm at my house. I'm at the lake. I'm on lockdown.
No, you're at the lake. I'm asking where Bono is. I know where you are. I know you're quarantining. You probably get in trouble if you were somewhere else. Oh, look at this guy Bono. I don't know where. I thought he's in Hawaii or something. I hear the
you're parking.
background.
I'm by White Pines.
Oh, okay.
It's cool.
Yeah. No, I knew you were out there, but yeah, Bono, he's at a different location every time, Mills. Every time we do something, he's got a hot spot there.
You never know.
Need it.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin, do you have your gold medal yet?
No, I don't. Yeah, hopefully hopefully they're sending that over, and I don't even have my gear. I picked up and left from Latvia, kind of the next morning after my hand broke to get surgery in Toronto, and then came home. So
Any
yeah, I
chance?
hope they send me everything.
Oh yeah. Middle on top. Now, any chances you heading back to Latvia for like a vacation, like a nice family vacation? Or is you a big Latvia?
I don't know. It was all right. I mean, it was it wasn't Sweden or Italy or any of those other countries, but it was we were stuck in a hotel there for a while. So those guys that went all the way, ended up winning. It was great to see because they've been grinding in the hotel for a while.
It's a long tournament, eh? When you think about it, that's a long haul.
It's long.
Yeah, it is, and it's it's starting off. How we did there was I think it was a little bit of, oh boy, what's going on here? But then nice way to finish, and definitely makes it worth their commitment.
Because I know Jim was getting up in the mornings and making bets every day. He's like, holy crap, like this tournament never ends, man. Like, so it's just
lots of
action all the time.
There's not a lot of goals over there. There's a lot of under bets, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he was heavy on the unders, Jim. So it was.
They packed the house there. Some of those European teams that just block shots, but yeah.
Packed the house, yeah, they really do, eh? Holy moly. There's a couple of games there. I was like, Finland, Canada was able to get through, but they seemed like they were that whole tournament. They were kind of like that. So
yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. But
Colin, you gonna be able to work out with your hand, or you're gonna have to take some time off?
We just got a stationary bike actually delivered to the house here, so we were putting that together. And no, I think it should be fine. I'm hoping that maybe next week get back in the gym and start moving around and whatever else, just because it's coming quick. You know what I mean? It's 3 months, I guess. It'll be a little later starting this year for the NHL, but turnaround's quick, so got to get.
It comes fast too.
Now, Mills, was it like a broken bone in your finger or something, or like a?
It was like a bone in here off my thumb, and then my thumb was dislocated.
Listen, blocking shots, you're unbelievable. Whose shot was that? I forget because I was watching.
I don't know how I was probably trying to jump out of the way, but it hit me like that.
Yeah, target. He caught your head. So yeah, but I'm watching and going. Saw you on the bench. I'm going, oh my god. And then you know what? I kind of like. It's not back. And then so you actually left. You had to go. You left right away. No.
Yeah. We just got an X-ray, and then it was kind of you got to get surgery. It was one of those things where I think you kind of want to get surgery sooner than later, just because it needs to be reset or whatever.
You didn't have any Latvian doctors on speed dial either.
They were saying you want to get it done over here, and I was like, no, I think back to Canada, get it squared away there.
Oh, it's true though. Like you want to go back and make sure that because you did it in Buffalo as well, no?
No, I did. I ended up doing it in Toronto.
You did? Okay, sorry.
Just because I did a little of my quarantine there, but
that makes sense though too, right? So
yeah, it was somewhere over here where we're going to do it. Yeah.
Right on. Now, just one more. Next year coming up, what do you think? You guys had some good games going on afterwards. I know with Granado, I think he taken over there too. Take over the reins for Ralph Kruger, and again, there seemed to be maybe a light at the end of the tunnel. There was some good hockey being played. I know some of your younger guys, like even Middlestat and stuff, some guys were kind of stepping up and starting to play well for you guys. So I just wanted to quickly maybe touch on that too, going into next year. If you, I know a lot of people were like just getting all over you guys for a bit there. You had your skid, but I did see some really good things later on. Even Reinhardt was hot, and so if you want to touch on that a little bit, maybe.
No, it was. I mean, it was frustrating. Nobody wants to go through a year like that, and it's tough. Like I was saying earlier, you know what I mean? It's not there's not a hockey locker room or a hockey team when you're losing games, right? And it can be tough and frustrating, but I think, you know, a lot of the character you know, gets shown, especially in, you know, tough times like that. So and it did show through with some of the young guys. So I think that you know, with the young group that they have there, and that, you know, will kind of be sorted out more. I don't know what's going to happen, you know, with coaching and stuff like that and whatever else. But no, I think it's just a summer where everybody on that team kind of goes home and focuses on themselves and realizes that, you know, there's going to be opportunity next year. There has to be, you know, with you know, the situation there, and things need to be changed, and they're not working. So guys that wanted more opportunity and you know, feel like they deserve more, which, you know, I think that's something that I would, you know, hope for in the future. Just, you know, come back and show you're ready to go. So that's kind of the focus, and drive on, you know.
Well, there really is, who's your first rounder this year? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name right now, for the World Juniors. You played all year with you guys. Yes. Yeah, you got there's just so much in the Olofsson kid. Like, there's, like, I know a lot of the guys, and I'm just saying, I go, you know what? There's got to be a way where you guys find it, and the talent's there. And again, you had a rough stretch, and I do think you guys kind of turned the corner there and did some good things to end your season. So again, you got to take small, I guess, victories, so to speak, and kind of take that into next year. So hopefully everything works out for you guys, though. So
yeah, I know exactly. It's like I said, it's frustrating. There's nothing you can do but put your head down and kind of work. And you know, we'll see. I think there'll be some changes. I think that you know, I think Kevin Adams is a real sharp guy, the GM they have there.
Yeah.
But you know, he was learning last year as well. I think a lot was put on his shoulders, and you know, I think that he handled it well. But moving forward, everybody wants to be better, and you know, go from there.
Yeah, well, that's all you can do, eh?
But it's funny, Colin. My wife's sending a message there. Just the impact that you guys can have on people. My cousin in Sudbury, her son, you saw him someplace. You must have been with Brian, and you talked to him, and he thought you were really nice. And you're his favorite player in the NHL now. You guys probably been like 2-3 years. He's got your jersey down in the basement and all that stuff. So it's nice, and you've always been good like that. You're always nice to my kids and stuff like that. And the impact you guys have, it's appreciated that you're always been good like that. So just appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we're fortunate. I mean, everybody that plays in the NHL obviously has worked hard, but I mean, you know, you get a lot of breaks along the way, and you get very fortunate to be in this position. So happy to do things like this, and you know.
That's good. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Colin, for joining us. Let's go watch the Montreal Canadiens trek to the Stanley Cup, and that's something, eh?
Crazy.
Well, you should be betting all that games. That Jesus, Jim.
There you go.
They're making some coin. No, Millsy, you know what? Again, like Jim said, I wanted to thank you too. Whenever we're talking, you and I, it's always fun. We always have a good laugh, and before the COVID thing too, you coming back and helping at even my little hockey school and stuff that we do. It's the best time just hanging out with you guys. And again, we have 2 weeks of laughs and just getting ahead. It is. It's awesome. It's
the academy.
The old academy. The old academy. So, you know what? Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Like I said, anytime I text or you text, whatever, it's just nice to know that you're doing great and continuing to have success, and we're proud of you here. So we'll talk soon. Anyways, I know I'll be sending you a text and
definitely
checking in on you, seeing that the hand's okay and you're doing okay, my friend.
That's good.
All right, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Colin.
Take care.
Millsy, thanks again, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Cheers.
Enjoy your night. Enjoy the AC too, eh? Take care, bud.
Okay, Dom, that's about it. We'll be back tomorrow night. Talk some NHL. I referenced the Miracle Habs, I guess what we could call them.
God,
they're just rolling in that. So tonight they'll try to wrap it up. You think they get it done tonight, Dom?
Oh, it's hard to think they're not. Just with how lethargic and how it's almost, I don't know, like inept. Is that a word we can use for Winnipeg right now? It doesn't even make sense. What's going on?
I like the word lethargic.
I know the Shifley's important, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's happening there.
the effort's not fantastic. And you know what? Maybe we got to give credit to Montreal because they made Toronto play bad for the last 3 games too, right? So
yeah,
a
ton of credit, to be honest with you. And we touched on it before. They have a world-class goalie, and he's kind of proving himself as such a calming influence. And then their back end has been awesome. And guys are stepping up. All those little deals they made are looking good. Like, I know we're going to talk about it tomorrow a little bit more, but guys like Corey Perry, these guys are really stepping up, and everybody's contributing.
Yeah, and we'll save the Scheifele discussion for tomorrow night. I think Bono probably can have lots of.
Yeah, I want to weigh in on that.
Bono. One thing I said this the other day about Montreal, because it looks like they're playing so hard, right? I remember the old Edmonton Oilers story when they lost to the Islanders, the Islanders' 4th cup, and the players walking by the dressing room and seeing the Islanders, they weren't even celebrating. They're so sore and tired, and they had left it all on the ice. And the Oilers kind of learned, hey, that's what we got to do. That old story that goes around. It kind of feels to me like Montreal is that team. They're leaving it all on the ice, and and the other teams aren't. That could be wrong, but does it have that kind of feel to it?
Yeah, it does, 100%. It's sometimes it doesn't take much to get some confidence and then get some magic going. Hey, and then you're like, again, a couple of games you believe in yourself, because people are going to say if they want how good they thought Toronto was or wasn't. But again, on paper they were such a more a higher ranked team in terms of, again, a star power. Everything that you could think of was against Montreal, even in that series. And they kind of handled them pretty easily those last 3 games. So, like you said, magic can happen. You bottle that up and get going. So they've been hot.
Maybe the Leafs, the Habs finish them off tonight, and Colorado and Vegas go beat each other up for another 3 nights, and someone walks in tired, and I'm starting to not count out Montreal. So what do you mean?
It's hard to, and again, that could go. When I watch those 2 teams play, I'm still watching. Like, I'm watching Vegas and Colorado, and again, I won't get too into it, but I'm saying this series is it's in hyper speed, and it's just everything is so. They just play so sound and everywhere on the ice. It's beautiful to watch. The hockey's great. It's fast.
Yeah,
fighting the crowds back. So all that too, and I'm saying, do any of these Canadian teams even have do they have a chance? Like, or is these teams going to come in and steamroll them? But like you said, I don't know. Montreal can maybe do it.
Right, that's the hot take right now, right? Well, Montreal's going to win, and they're going to get swept by Colorado or Vegas.
Yeah.
And I get that, because they look like, the hockey's full crowds.
Yeah.
Teams are flying around on the ice. Seems so much better, but I don't know. Maybe Montreal can get it done. They got a great goalie that's hot. And
they're getting more fans in their building too. If they win this series, and again, who's to know that they're going to go there, whether it's Vegas or Colorado, and they'll be excited to play in front. Nobody's going to tell me they're not going to be excited, even though you're the villain. You get to play in front of 15,000.
Absolutely. First time, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. So that'll be exciting. We'll
maybe Winnipeg can muster something up for tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Boston's tied 1-1. I know that after 1, and the other game's just starting. So
tough series too. Hey, the Islanders have been. They're like that. They're like that mosquito that's flying around, and you can't get rid of them. They're
2-1 Islanders now, actually. So
wow, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so.
Hey,
Don, we'll talk tomorrow night, and thanks for coming on again, and it was a nice show, so we'll talk to you after.
Awesome, buddy. We'll see you after. I'll text you later.